Hi everyone, it's Avram here with another exciting show on the Hot Domain Show. And today is super exciting because I have the honor of having Brian Lowe, part of Patriots Today. The official site of the Patriots has exclusive video. Brian, tell us more about this.
Well, I'm happy to be with you, Avram, and I'm excited that you're able to show off what we do here on Patriots.com. And basically, Patriots.com is the official site, like you said, of the Patriots, and includes a lot of news articles, radio, video, all sorts of elements related to the Patriots Hall of Fame, as you can see on the front page. And what I do mostly is the video content, and we do basically a TV show as if you're watching your TV. We do a TV show on the web, and it's called Patriots Today. We do it every day, Monday through Friday during the season, and then the off-season schedule is a little bit different, weekly, maybe every other day or so. And the Patriots were the first sports team back in the mid to late '90s to have exclusive streaming video content on their site. So as you're on the homepage here on the splash page, in the upper right corner where it says latest video, that's usually, as it says, the latest video that we do. And not every latest video is a new edition of Patriots Today, but all of the editions of Patriots Today do appear there. So when you click on that, and what we have right there right now is a picture of a player, Tully Bantakane, who was just re-signed to a new contract the other day. So our most recent show, which we did just a couple days ago, was recapping some of the latest Patriots news in the offseason. And when you click on that latest video screen, it brings you to the main video content page of the site. And the first thing that pops up is that latest video. And as you can tell, you can click play, you can, fast forward, rewind, click stop. You see a commercial that we have at the beginning.
I was gonna
One of the
say there's
sponsors
a
put.
there's a great commercial going on right now.
That's right. It's only 15 seconds, so it's a good way to lead in. It doesn't take up too much time, and then you get right into the show. And I think this one was about three and a half minutes. And if you can bear seeing me on the screen for briefly, you'll see that I'm the host, and we shoot a lot of our stuff right there in the stadium. We in the Patriots Stadium, Gillette Stadium, we have a full-fledged TV department. We have a TV studio. We have TV editing rooms, control rooms, all the camera equipment we need. And a lot of times what we do is we'll find a different spot in the stadium to shoot our videos. So, you kind of give the feel of, we're right there where the Patriots are. And, depending on your computer, it might go at a good clip, a good rate. We hope it doesn't stall too much as you're watching video, because certainly watching video on the computer screen isn't for everybody, and not every computer can handle it. But on that page, you'll see a description of what you can find in that show, and further down the line, down that page, there's a video archive with all of the recent shows that we've done.
So this
You can see
really incorporates the whole idea of the Patriots franchise and making it accessible to the fans more so than it would be watching, let's say, the normal news.
Well, what we like to think of it as is, the Patriots in the last decade have become one of the foremost sports franchises in the country. And there are Patriots fans really not just around New England, but around the world and even around the globe. And, a Patriots fan who lives in Wisconsin, a Patriots fan who lives in Canada, a Patriots fan who lives in Australia can't just turn on the Boston news at 11 o'clock and see their sports news and their Patriots news. They can't necessarily walk out the door in the morning and see the Boston Globe right there. They can't turn on sports radio. So this is a great way for Patriots fans in New England or around the world to follow the team in an interactive way, a multimedia way, video, sound bites from the players. And that's what we try to provide. We try to provide all the Patriots news, one-stop shopping, so to speak, for whatever the Patriots are doing that day, that week, so that if you follow the Patriots, you can find it on Patriots Today. And another great element of it, too, is that our video archive really goes, for years on end. So you could, at the end of the week, if you didn't have a chance to catch up on your Patriots news during the week, you could go and look back and spend 20 minutes and look back at all the shows from that week to really catch up. So our video archive is really, we like to think that it's pretty user friendly. If you need to catch up, it has the date right there. If you see a description, you say, you know what, I already know about that. I don't need to check on that part of the news. You skip it.
So really it encompasses, as far as I can see, video, audio, and And photos.
Correct. Well, and it's actually if you wanted to go back to that main page, not the splash page, but if you go back to the home page, what you'll see is the top news story um, on
So,
that front page.
so
I'll
you're
let you get
saying the very front page of the homepage, not of the Patriots Today section.
exactly,
Okay,
exactly.
okay. So here I'm on the splash page actually. So I'm gonna
Okay,
now
so
jump to the homepage.
exactly, you jump to the home page,
Okay.
and what you'll see is the main news story at that time. And it could at certain times be a video element, it could be a radio element. And I think right now it has to do with the news item that Vince Wilfork has re signed with the Patriots. Now, beneath that, there are usually 7 icons related to the seven, if not the 7 most recent news items, it's 7 of the most relevant news items at that time.
No,
And
definitely. One thing I did notice though, because you mentioned resign, and I was reading it, and I was thinking for a second that it said resigned.
oh well, you know what? It's that's a good point because if you write the word resign, resign, without a hyphen, that's resign. If you write resign with a hyphen, that's resign. So it does get confusing a lot of times in sports because resigning happens a lot. Resigning could happen too with a coach. So you got to be careful with that. That's a good point that you bring up. So you got those 7 icons that have to do with some of the more recent news items. Below that, you have news archive, video archive, audio archive, I think photo archive, and like I said, there's so many multimedia elements to this website. Video is primarily what I do, but we have an audio archive as well, which includes if a player has a conference call. There might be a coach having a conference call. There's also radio that we do exclusively on Patriots.com. And during the season and in the offseason, and some of the writers from Patriots Football Weekly do those, and I do those as well. In season, I do a fantasy football radio show, and off season, sort of more sporadic, but we do a lot of draft audio. So much like the video archive, you can scroll through and see a description of what you're going to see on that show, and even a length. And maybe there's one that really piques your interest and you want to check on that. Maybe there's others you scroll through and you're not as interested in. And then with the photo archive, which is again a lot of exclusive content, we have photographers on staff that are really attempting to take interesting photos of whatever might be happening. Obviously, during a game, in season, there's plenty of photo opportunities. But in the off season, got to be a little more creative. And you can see a few of the players have done some community appearances. A player named Sebastian Vollmer went to an elementary school. Gerard Mayo, linebacker, shot a PSA for United Way. And these are just some things that players are doing in the offseason that, they're Patriots players. I think fans are always interested in what they're doing in their downtime. And so we have an extensive photo archive as well.
So if you're just interested in general in football and not really care that much even about the team, you could really learn a lot just listening to, let's say, the conferences with the players.
Oh, sure. And a lot of times, like the most recent conference call is Tully Bantikane, who signed a contract, re-signed a contract with the Patriots the other day on Friday. And during that day, again, it's the offseason, the players aren't necessarily at Foxborough at Gillette Stadium all the time. So there was a conference call with news reporters to discuss that contract and what went into that. So yeah, you could, you might be at work all day Friday and you don't have anything to do with football. And at the end of the day, you go to the Patriots website. Oh, wow, they re-signed Tully Bantikane. Let me read that news article and find out about that. Oh, wait, there's an audio element as well. Wow, I can hear from Tully Bantikane on the day that he resigned. That's tremendous. And I'm not sure exactly what the length of that conference call is, but you could skip through it. You could maybe hear a question. You're like, I'm not interested in that one. You can skip through a minute and go to something you're interested in. So again, it's sort of one-stop shopping. And if you're someone who has a brand new spiffy computer that really runs video well, maybe you're going to go to the video first. If you're someone who you're in the kitchen preparing dinner. You're not able to sit down and watch the video, but you want to hear the audio. Well, you can play the audio, and you can maybe hear it while you're cooking dinner. So again, there's the whole idea, especially where we're at in 2010. Over the course of the last decade or 15 years, there have been so many enhancements in what a team website can do. And the Patriots have put a lot of resources, both as far as manpower and in making sure that they have the most recent technology to make it very easy for a Patriots fan, or even someone who's not as interested in the Patriots but wants to be able to get all their news in many different media. And that's really the point.
Well, if you can tell the audience, because it would be great, I don't know if you're allowed to or not, but how much money would you say gets put towards the technology of the Patriots website?
Wow, that's going to be a tough one for me to answer. And not just because I actually don't. It's hard for me to really know because there's I'd say I'll give it to you this way.
All right.
There is a web department that consists of, I believe right now, 5 people. Now those 5 people manage the Patriots.com, but also the New England Revolution, the soccer team that's run out of the Gillette Stadium. The Kraft family owns that as well. There's Gillette Stadium has its own website, and Patriot Place has its own website. Patriot Place is the area of land in Foxborough that consists of the stadium and a brand new open air mall that has a hotel and restaurants and all that. So there's actually 4 different websites that are sort of run by the Patriots, Patriots.com being, of course, the most prominent. But then a subset of that is the department that I'm in, which handles the video. And in addition to that, there's Patriots Football Weekly, and like I said, a lot of the radio content, PFW in Progress, Patriots Football Weekly in Progress, are involved in that. So you've got upwards of 10 to 12 people whose jobs either consist fully or partially in managing the website and providing content to the website, and that doesn't include all the infrastructure. I honestly wouldn't be able to tell you much about the infrastructure. I wish I was more of a tech guy like you are, Avram. I know
Yeah.
that, and like a lot of the other people there. So hard for me to really put a dollar figure on it. But I will say this: I don't believe there's a single sports team, and I don't mean just a football team, but a single sports team that puts as many resources into its online content. And like I said, when the Patriots built Gillette Stadium back in 2002, they built a TV studio inside the stadium, which is virtually unheard of. And that TV studio isn't just for the web information for the web video; it's also for other TV shows that we do and in-game, jumbotron productions. So again, regardless of what the dollar figure is, and it's probably ever evolving because they're always looking into what the next thing is, they put more into their website and into their multimedia content than probably any other sports team does.
It also seems that it's very multilingual, which begs the question, do they force you to do broadcasts in Espanol?
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't know. I don't know where we're at right now as far as audio and video in Espanol. But I do know, as you're pulling up right now, Football Patriotico, and I know Martin Morales, who's a gentleman who operates this website. He's a reporter who has now been hired, I think, on a part-time basis by the Patriots to operate a website in Spanish. And I wish I did know exactly what he has as far as audio and video. But as you're seeing right here, he is a machine when it comes to making sure that the most recent Patriots news is translated into Spanish. I think he has actual official Patriots press releases on there, but in addition, he has his own, analysis and opinion. And if you look at the different categories, I see cheerleaders, of course. You wouldn't want to dismiss the cheerleaders. What else does he have there? Photo gallery, Galeria de Fotos,
Okay, yeah.
Preguntas y Respuestas. I believe he has a Q&A segment as well. So
Hmm.
Espanol is absolutely one of the languages that the Patriots are working on, and they're actually, believe it or not, I wish I knew what the status of this was right now. They've had thoughts about a Chinese website. In fact, I think they had a preliminary one a couple years ago when there was a chance that the Patriots were going to be playing a preseason game in China and trying to build up that audience as well. And here you go. So it does exist. I don't speak Chinese. I don't know how up to date this is. Although I do see a 2010, so it has been updated in 2010. Avram, do you speak Chinese?
No, I don't really speak any
No.
Chinese, but guess what video I believe is playing right now?
Well, I see it's Patriots today, and
Yeah, I
actually this.
think so. So that does answer. Now the question's going to be that when this is done playing,
Yeah.
will it have some type of Chinese
Well,
subtitles?
we did have as an experiment a while back and a couple years ago. there was a student, I believe he was a college student, I don't remember which college in the Boston area, who and I don't know how the Patriots reached out to him or if he reached out to the Patriots to do some translating of our shows, and he did that for a little while, and I don't know what the plan is as far as making sure that this stays up to date, but it certainly has information from the last year.
It's interesting. I clicked on English, wondering if they would translate the Chinese site into English. It just brings you back to the normal site.
Oh, it brings it. Well, I guess that you can only go so far with this stuff, I guess.
And you were mentioning before about charity, and that's something that's universal. So, where would we go to find out more information about being a part of the community and helping out with those various charities?
Well, as you can see on the actually, I think this is embedded in pretty much every page at the top. There's a handful. I think there's 8 or 10 different pull down menus. Not just the news and the game reports, but fan zone and stadium and cheerleaders and community. And if you go to community, among the options are events and programs and donation requests. I think if you click on if you click on events, I think you'll see some of the upcoming, the New England Patriots Charitable Foundation, which helps out, makes charitable contributions to numerous different entities around New England. There are several events over the course of a year, many of them involving players, but also involving the ownership, the coaches, and even the staff. During the season, you have Thanksgiving and the holiday season, so players are always involved in the Salvation Army holiday party. There's a golf tournament in June that corporations enter in with a foursome in a golf tournament and pay a hefty fee to be a part of it, but that money goes right to the charitable foundation. There's a kickoff gala at the beginning of every season, which is a very formal event at Gillette Stadium where, again, people can buy a table for 10 and you're going to be sitting with a player. You're going to have auction items and you're going to have player interaction. And again, all that money goes to the charitable foundation. And so, even though when we do shows like Patriots Today, even though putting together a new show doesn't directly generate dollar figures for the Patriots Charitable Foundation, what we think of it as is another reason, continuous reasons for people to come to the website. And when they come to the website, they're being exposed to the Charitable Foundation. They're being exposed to information on how they can help give back, how they can help the Patriots organization give back. And the more content we deliver to Patriots fans, the more likely they're going to come to the site and be exposed to everything else.
I must ask about the Salvation Army holiday party. I've been reading about this right now, and I just I can't picture it. What exactly happens here?
Well, basically, you have kids from underprivileged kids from around New England who are invited to the stadium for really just a night of fun and a night of the players helping the kids have something during the holiday season that they might not otherwise have. And as you can see, there's a picture. I believe there's a picture of Teddy Bruschi that you have right there.
Yeah.
And you might say, well, what is that red thing on his cheek? And is he wrapped up in wrapping paper? Well, that's just it. They'll have contests with the players and the kids who are involved, which kids can wrap up a player quicker in holiday wrapping paper. And you got to put a bow on it, as you can tell. They do mummy wrappings. They'll take toilet paper and wrap players around. And some of these players are pretty big, 6'6", 6'7", 300-pounders. Not very easy to.
That's amazing, though, just picturing all that and picturing them just running around and trying to wrap up these Patriot players that we're used to seeing on the field and being all strong and mighty. And here they're going and they're really supporting the community.
It's a great, and I've been to the Salvation Army holiday party several times now for each of the last several years. It's a fantastic event because when you see the players in that kind of element with kids, they're like these huge teddy bears. They really are, and they're just having fun like the players. They understand that, or just like the kids. These players understand that they right now are living. The players have a privileged life, and their kids have a privileged life. They're making great money as an athlete, but that's not the case for everybody. And these kids, boy, do they leave there with a smile, getting a chance to see these players up close and interacting with them. So, and then it's a great opportunity for some fantastic photos, as you can see right there, that those photos in and of themselves will appear on the site as well.
No, definitely. And I mean, just the idea that you can even go and put out a request.
Yep. Um, there's you can make a request for donation items. Event. There might be events that don't necessarily pertain to the Patriots, nonprofit charitable events where you might have a silent auction, or you might have a raffle. And if you can enhance that raffle or that auction with a Randy Moss autographed football or a Teddy Bruschi autographed jersey to make some money for your charitable foundation, the Patriots are often very happy and willing to do that, because we know how important it can be, and how if someone goes to an auction, there's a lot of Patriots fans out here with a chance to win a Tom Brady autograph. They might be willing to put some more money into that charitable cause, and the Patriots are always happy to help.
Oh, definitely, because I mean, that just kind of adds to the extra feeling and excitement of
Exactly.
being a part of something that is bigger than anyone could imagine. I mean, granted, we're talking about the NFL,
That's
and
right, and the NFL is such a part. I mean, hey, sports and football aren't for everybody, but when the Patriots are doing well around New England, you can just tell everybody around Boston, everyone around New England has a little spring in their step, because people can identify with the winning feeling the Patriots have had this decade, and same with the Red Sox and the other sports teams. So it's great to be able to capitalize on that sort of feeling, not in a necessarily a profitable way for the Patriots, but to be able to give back in the community through the charitable foundation, and how could you argue with that?
definitely. And is there anything special that we would find, let's say, in the fan zone, for example? Because I mean, one thing that came to mind, arcade. I was just fascinated by that.
Yeah. If you click on that, I know that within the fan zone, there's a lot of bulletin boards and chat rooms. Click on arcade, because I need to take a look and see exactly. I need to refresh my own memory on what we're going to see here. Oh, that's right. They've. I'm not as familiar with these games, but I think Battleship, Connect Four, Dots. I think these are another interactive way to be involved in the site with a Patriots twist. And again, you might have to click on one of those for me to get a better sense of exactly what we're looking at
Oh
there.
no, definitely,
Uh,
because I grew up with these games of Battleship,
oh, who
Connect
didn't? I
Four,
mean,
and
these
Dots. I know
Connect
these
Four,
games.
absolutely.
It's just
And,
funny to see them being done in a way that it works with the Patriots. So it's
yeah,
like I know I draw lines here, and my goal is trying to create a box while preventing the other person from getting a box while
yep.
I'm putting the lines together.
There you
And
go.
like with the Connect Four, I remember that like the object of the game is to get four in a row while the player that you're against. But it's just
It,
fascinating to me that they have this
to see it with
as
the
as part. It's like, you know what? There's something for everybody here. So if you want a good game of Connect Four or a
right. And
good game of
if you're
Dots or
if
Battleship,
you've been surfing the site for an hour and you're fed up with your Patriots news and you just need a something else to pass the time, play a game of Connect Four.
well, that there you go. Because the thing is, sometimes I could use a good game of Dots or Connect Four or
Who
Battleship.
couldn't, get away from the mundane elements of the site? If you need that for a moment, go right ahead.
But I definitely found that quite unique that they went and they added that. I don't know if any of the other NFL sites have that
I
ability
doubt
of
it. I doubt
having
it.
that fun and
But
excitement and entertainment added into the site.
that's right. Most of the elements of Fan Zone have to do are chat rooms and bulletin boards that Patriots fans can converse with each other and rant if they have to, if they're not happy with the most recent game, or share their excitement in the most recent player signing. And it's a chance to do it right there on the Patriots site. And there's
Oh,
actually a lot of fan groups, official fan clubs. I'll tell you what, in England, believe it or not, there are quite a few Patriots fan clubs, and the Patriots played in England last year against Tampa Bay, and I was out there and had a chance to meet a lot of the people who run these fan chat rooms from England. And like I said earlier, it's a great, Patriots website is a great way for Patriots fans who don't live around here to interact with other Patriots fans and get all their news in a one-stop shopping kind of way.
now the one thing I noticed is that there's special access, premium seating, and VIP on the top.
Yep.
Like, does any of this have to do with any of your videos, or is this more so have to do with actually owning seats?
No, that has more to do with owning seats, and it's I think a lot of those elements are sort of an customer service, administrative elements. Where if you are a club seat owner, or you own a suite, or you own season tickets, you can you have certain access. There is one thing. There is a season ticket holder newsletter. That isn't exactly a video or an audio element. That's more of a newsletter that you might receive in your email inbox. That season ticket holders receive, I think, every month. But I think there's some administrative elements of the site where you can, if you have a gripe about something that happened in your section, or you have a question, or you have, a story to tell about what happened to you at a game, you can go on the special access areas for club seat holders and suite holders.
Wow. So there is a lot to this site. Is there anything else that you would like to show the fans of Hot Domain Show?
Well, I'll tell you what. When you were on that splash page, that original splash page,
Yeah, let's go
when you
back to
first
that.
click on Patriots.com, it just so happens right now, there's a brand new Hall of Fame, the Patriots, the Hall at Patriot Place they call it, which is the Patriots Hall of Fame. It's basically a historical museum for the Patriots, and right now they just added a new exhibit that came straight from the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Ohio, football and the American spirit. And when you clicked on that. Okay, I see that brings you to the Hall at Patriot Place webpage, and that webpage actually I think is part of the Patriot Place webpage. I remember I said at the beginning that it's not
Right.
just Patriots.com. There's a whole lot else. So the Hall of Patriot Place has been open for less than 2 years, but it is a hit. It's a great if you're ever in the Foxborough area. If you're coming to a game or what have you, it's a great chance to, it's very interactive. Much like the website, it's very interactive. And so right now they have a special exhibit that honors military personnel with football ties.
Oh,
And so as you're looking right here, this is the Hall website. And then, there's the Hall of Fame website. There's the Pro Shop website. You can order your Patriots, if you want to buy Patriots items and
of
shirts, all
course,
that.
we have to include that. We
We
can't.
better include that. Well, if you go back to that splash page, I believe.
Pro
Okay,
Shop.
I think we'll have to go
Here we go.
back to the home page.
Yep, I have it.
And on the home page, there you go. You found it. Yeah. Well, St. Patrick's Day is the big hit right now. Believe it or not, the Patriots don't have green in their uniforms, but hey, why not? Why not have a Patriots hat with green in it for St. Patrick's Day? But the Patriots have a pro shop on site. But again, fans are all over the place. You can't just get to Foxborough easily if you live, elsewhere in the world. So on the Patriots website, you can order any of your Patriots gear or Patriots related items and great gift ideas, and you can have it sent to wherever you want. It's just like in 2010. 50% of the world probably does their holiday shopping online or their everyday shopping online. So this is another way to, purchase some gifts or purchase something for yourself, have it shipped, and you don't have to leave your computer.
So even for tourists, Patriots Place, they can really find a lot of activity there, including that special event that you mentioned that's there. Is
Sure.
that going to always be there, or is this only for a limited amount of time, that
Well,
hall
that
that you were
exhibit,
mentioning?
that special football and American Spirit exhibit, I think is only there through the end of May. I believe it's kind of a traveling exhibit. I think it's going to a few different, a few different teams are going to house it at their own stadiums. But right now, it's at the Patriots Stadium. So, but the hall itself is open year round. I'm not sure if it's open 7 days a week, but you can go on the website and see the hours. So, yeah, that's and you know what? I'm involved in the website, but every day I go to the website, I'm like, oh, I didn't know we had that, or oh, they must have added that, another new multimedia element. So always something new on the website.
It's very dynamic. Wow, absolutely incredible to see
Yeah.
what is going on when a sports team decides to really embrace technology. Thank you so much, Brian, for being on today.
Well, Avram, it's my pleasure, and I'm excited that you're able to spotlight us, and hope we can do it again sometime.
Not a problem. Stay tuned for more hot sites on the Hot Domain Show, hotdomainshow.com.